And Man United capitulate one more time against Manchester City. And Manchester City proves that this title is still theirs to concede to Arsenal, to Tottenham, to Liverpool, who nobody actually talks about, but they're just right there in the top four. Welcome again to the Global Premier Football Show. Guys, if you're still new to this channel, please do us the favor of hitting the like button, subscribing to this channel so that you will know when we release new content. Shakir, welcome to the show. How did you see this Manchester derby today? Because it was just, from what I saw, Man City is just different, completely the opposite of what Man United is and what Man United would want to be.
You said at the start that Man City is the champion. No, I think so far this season, Man United has been terrible. It's like they're playing worse than the top 10 teams as of right now. So I wouldn't give City a lot of credit, although they do deserve it. But the way Manchester United played, it's like the relegation teams plays. There was no effort, nothing. So I wasn't surprised. So far, it's been very inconsistent when it comes to Manchester United, and we'll talk about later that Chelsea. So
we'll talk about Chelsea.
There was a glimpse, I think, last 5 minutes of first half where I thought that they might come back. And I tweeted during the halftime that the match might finish 2-1. But then in the start of second half, it just
went down the drain.
Yeah, it just crumbled.
You know what? Man City will always make sure that their fiercest oppositions do not come back. And they try to put the ball or to put the game to bed as early as possible.
We'll do that.
So I have observed this about Manchester City. First few minutes of the game, let's say the first quarter of the game in first half, and then the first quarter of the game in the second half.
That's when they put the most amount of work.
Yes, that's what I
try to kill the game.
They want to get the goal. The moment you get your goals in, you're already 10 steps ahead of the opposition.
I think the second half strategy that you mentioned, that they come in and I agree with that, and I think that's the most effective strategy. That does put it to bed.
Yeah.
Especially 2 goals up, 50 minutes in, it feels like a mountain to climb.
You know, there are moments in the game, right? There are moments when everyone is high on energy level. But again, there are teams that are higher and stronger energy level than the rest. Or than the other team when the game starts. But looking at this Manchester City, because we'll come to Man United, but let's look at what Manchester City did. You saw the first half, and you saw how the first half played out. What could you say was the difference between what Manchester United was trying to do in terms of, they were playing at Old Trafford, right? And what Manchester City was trying to do, seeing that they were away, even though they are from the same city.
What was the difference between
the
Man City first half versus second half?
Yes.
There was no difference, though. No, I didn't see any. I think the difference I saw was in Manchester United. And that's what I also talked about on Twitter with my friend, that the problem with Manchester United is first half they kept the defense line tight, and they were communicating quote unquote, because I think that's what they made the mistakes a lot in their defense. Like they don't know, they don't keep the line, they don't keep the offside line correct, and they don't talk about like, hey, if you're gonna cover him, I will cover him. It's just a random high school pickups football. That's what the biggest difference. Manchester City was playing the same. I don't see, because Haaland had the same kind of chance in the first half, which Onana saved. Did you see that?
Yes, I saw.
Yeah.
I saw the
and exactly the same thing happened in the second half. So I think Manchester United got worse, but City played the same. They didn't change much. They didn't sub. They didn't do much. Like Grealish was doing the same thing from the wing. Bernardo was doing the same thing, keeping the ball, keeping the possession, making the gameplay. So I don't think City did anything different. What do you think?
I mean, from the game that I saw, I mean, we talked about you already mentioned it, but remember we talked about the defensive organization of Manchester United when City were attacking. It was everyone was everywhere. There was no defensive structure. There was no, okay, we're going to keep this block. We're going to keep this low block. Everyone has to be behind the ball, whether it's two lines, the back four or maybe a back five if you want your holding midfielder to drop in between the center backs. Have that, and then have the midfielders drop as low as they can, keeping City at bay and trying to win the ball, doing that and maybe force a counter attack. Because Man United is a team that is also good with counter attack because they have very quick players who can, with 2, 3, 4 touches, they're already in the opposition's goal. But from what I saw, every Manchester player, they were all here and there, leaving a lot of space, no communication, as you mentioned. The centre backs, they played with 3 centre backs, which one of them, whether I was playing, in fact, I can remember, I cannot place a hand or what they did defensively in terms of defensive organization.
We should look at the average position of Manchester United. That will tell us what position they actually held today.
So as you're looking at that, because when you do not have, it brings back memories of what happened yesterday with Chelsea against Brentford. The defensive organization was there and was not there, but that's for Chelsea. But look at Brentford's defensive organization. They started it, they stuck with it,
until the last minute. They kept it.
Nothing changed in their defensive organization and setup.
That is true.
That's a team that was tactically drilled for that game. Man United, all over the place.
Look at
all over the place.
Sure. There's empty space on the left.
All over the space.
This is the formation they played, actually. It's not even close to what they actually were going to play.
Even players in straight lines in this average position, like, what the heck is going on here? So when they defend, they were leaving a lot of space, and no one was closing down, and there was no coverage. I remember Dalot overlapping. It was not even that he overlapped with the ball. He overlapped and chased. Now, there was a defensive midfielder that should be covering him. So can you remove that and go to the lineup there? So they had Amrabat and Eriksen. You remove Amrabat, who came in? Is it McTominay that came in?
No. The Chelsea.
Okay. Then Mason Mount. Mason Mount came in, which means there's no more defensive midfielder in that team.
No, they were trying to get more offensive.
So how on earth was McTominay playing in the... in fact, honestly, I think Man United were terrible. Tactically, they were terrible. And when you're terrible tactically against a very solid Manchester City team, they will destroy you. But Bernardo Silva had space every single moment, created the same chances, put the ball over and over for Haaland, over and over. And you look at the Manchester United bench, you have their coach, you have Steve McLaren, who is an experienced seasoned coach, was former assistant coach to Sir Alex Ferguson. And tell me that they did not see that. They did not see how distorted and disorganized their defensive line were.
Yeah.
It means that...
And on top of that, what my biggest issue with Erik ten Hag is, like, during the game, if you can see that this thing is not... Like, you can clearly see that the players are out of position. And you can call it out. Like, when I play with my friends... if there's like someone leaving the position and going forward and not coming back, I can call it out.
Yes.
He doesn't call it out.
But the thing is this, the coach, there's a reason why every coach needs an assistant coach. There's a reason why you have your backroom staff, because you will not see everything.
Yeah.
You will not see everything.
Yes.
If you
You're
look at
going through emotions and everything, yes.
Exactly. If you look at Manchester City, he communicates with, Pep Guardiola, he communicates a lot with his bench too. And maybe they point out one or two things. Maybe they might not stand up and go talk like in Newcastle.
No, I took a course of analyst. The job of analyst is during the halftime, it gives a brief. And then the manager can make some changes based
but
on
the analyst is not just they have the first assistant head coach. The first assistant coach.
Giving the feedback.
Yes, the first assistant coach will see what the coach may not be able to see during the game itself, and can talk to the head coach of what he's seeing, and maybe that can help, because again, it was something that was repeated over and over and over when it comes to Man United's defensive organization. It was something that was constantly repeated. Everyone was everywhere. There was no, go, I cover. If I go, you cover. Then the holding midfielder comes in, and then, but it was a lot going on, and that is why they considered as many goals as they considered. And if this game had gone on, there's no way Man United was going to win or even going to score a goal, because they were not creating chances. Now let's deviate. Let's come out a little bit from the tactical outside of this discussion. Let's look at personnel, the qualities of the players on the field. Look at Man United players. The same thing I talked about the other time with Chelsea, of not having any single player that deserves to be wearing. Some of the players that Chelsea signed don't deserve to wear the Chelsea shirt. I do not see any single player on this field today that deserves to wear a Manchester United shirt. Maybe Marcus Rashford whenever he is in the game.
Yes, and he's been playing for a while. So.
Yes, but Bruno Fernandes, should he be the captain of Manchester United?
No, as of right now, no.
What makes the quality of a captain? What makes
Who
a
was
captain?
the captain before him?
It was Maguire.
For a very long time?
Maguire was the captain before Bruno Fernandes.
Okay. But I think when Ronaldo came in, that's when Bruno became the captain.
Yeah, because they sat Maguire on the bench and gave Bruno.
Yeah.
So this season, Bruno became official.
I wouldn't even go Harry Maguire should be captain. There is no one who should be captain.
I don't see anyone that could wear the captain's armband. Or maybe give it to Johnny Evans.
Personality-wise, no one is there.
Or maybe give it to Johnny Evans. But Johnny Evans is down the line, about to retire from his football. Only has 1 year on this contract, or even 6 months. And
who was captaining City? Silva?
Kyle Walker was the captain today. Right? There are many captains on that Man City.
Yeah.
On that Man City team.
There's with the mindset. No, there is no one.
There is no one.
I can think of Eriksen, but nah, he.
Eriksen doesn't have what it takes to be a captain. Yeah. He can't. Maybe it might be just I don't understand the personalities of the Man United players. It's unbelievable, because let's look at the captain. The quality of a captain is captain who can cheer up, who can encourage, who can push his players and demand the best from his teammates on the field and lead by example.
Lead by example is the most important.
Not what I see from Bruno wears it because
he used to do that, but he doesn't do it anymore.
I'm going to tell you, when Man United signed Bruno Fernandes, I thought back then, and I still think, Bruno Fernandes is not a Premier League quality player.
Never?
No.
Where did he come from? From Portuguese league?
No, I think he came from Italy. Yeah. Where did he come from again? Because he was not captain in those clubs where he was. He was not.
No, he came from.
He came from. Yes, I think I first started seeing him at Udinese, and then Sampdoria, and then he went to Sporting Lisbon. and then Manchester United. He has played 134 times for Man United from 2020 in COVID. When he came, I was calling him Bruno Fernandes. That was what I called him back then, because up till today, he's still Bruno Fernandes for me, because he cannot stand the physical requirements of playing in the Premier League. He does not have that quality physically. And if you don't have that quality physically, you cannot succeed in the Premier League.
He's an attacking midfielder, right?
He's an attacking midfielder. But when I remember the attacking midfielder that have played for Man United, when I remember the attacking midfielders that have played in the Premier League, Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, who can play as a number 8, even as a number 6, and they're top quality players that have played in the Premier League, that can go back and forth without whining, without crying, without throwing tantrums, without throwing their hands in the air when things don't go their way. You look at Bruno Fernandes, it's like, who the heck is this guy? Where's this guy coming from? He can handle that. Ronaldo, when he came to Man United from the same Sporting Lisbon that Bruno came from, he never did that. He was bruised, he was battered, because he was a very skillful player. People ran into Ronaldo a lot, people kicked him a lot, but he was not crying about it. He'd take it up on the chin, and he pushed and he pushed and he pushed, and that's why he's the Ronaldo he is today. But look at all these players in Man United. Just look at all of them.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, and I still don't understand how Manchester United finished third last season.
Because the rest were terrible.
Because the rest were terrible. It's the same team. That there's nothing much changed, but I think they were as terrible as this team last year. But I was gonna ask, where did they finish 2020, 2021 season?
I think they finished in Europa League or something.
2020?